This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by Kova Software, developers of the popular Kova point-of-sale system, found in quality legal marijuana dispensaries throughout Canada, Washington, Colorado, and California. If you have a legal marijuana dispensary or head shop but need a super reliable point-of-sale system that's both easy to use and powerful in all that it can do, then you need to consider working with Kova Software. The company behind Kova has decades of experience designing beautiful and practical retail solutions for businesses, so you get the benefit of doing business with a firm that really knows what they're doing. Kova's system can handle both single stores as well as those with multiple locations, so they'll be right alongside you as you build out your legal cannabis business empire. Swing over to kovasoftware.com/demo where you can schedule your own custom walkthrough of what the Kova point of sale system is capable of. That's kovasoftware.com/demo with Kova spelled C-O-V-A. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, March 28th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 456 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is the news out of New Jersey of some new additions to the state's medical marijuana qualifying conditions list. Newly elected Governor Phil Murphy announced the new plans yesterday, which will add to the list migraines, anxiety, Tourette's syndrome, chronic musculoskeletal pain, and chronic visceral pain. The expansion plan will also open up the list of medical professionals who can recommend cannabis by freeing up every doctor in the state to do so, not just those who go through the process of registering. Patients will be able to buy 4 instead of 2 ounces of medical cannabis in a month, and the state's current handful of licensed dispensaries will have the option of building satellite locations to improve patient access. All in all, these are super positive and impactful changes that will boost the number of people who can find relief using medical cannabis in New Jersey. Hopping a couple states over to Rhode Island, we have news that the state legislature was recently offered $5 million from one of its 3 licensed medical marijuana dispensaries in exchange for stepping back from plans to expand the number of licensed shops up to 15. The offer was made in a public hearing held by the State House Finance Committee and was pitched as a way the state could help cover budget shortfalls without gutting the ability of the 3 existing dispensaries to stay in business. Chris Riley is the spokesperson for the state's largest dispensary, the Thomas C. Slater Compassion Center, and made the offer alongside testimony that predicted that 1 or 2 of the 3 current open dispensaries would be put out of business if there were suddenly 12 new competitors drawing on the state's limited pool of registered patients. Another threat that Rhode Island dispensaries face is the soon-to-open adult-use industry in neighboring Massachusetts, which Mr. Riley also brought up. This is an interesting point in a storyline that could easily play out in a number of U.S. states. Not a bad one to read in full. Rounding out today's top headlines is Amanda Chicago Lewis, who has a good piece up in Rolling Stone about the challenges faced by legal marijuana entrepreneurs who have to navigate the complex logistics of doing all of their business in cash. Additionally, cannabis entrepreneurs often are listed in public databases as being in the industry. Amanda's piece looks at one Bay Area edibles maker who suffered a cash and products robbery on his production facility as his wife was giving birth to their new son. This is one of the easier arguments to make in our industry, as only the most die-hard prohibitionist can argue against the benefits of making legal cannabis transactions more trackable and transparent, which has the added benefit of also making them safer. Another good one to read and share. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Kova Software, developers of the popular Kova point of sales system, found in quality legal marijuana dispensaries throughout Canada, Washington, Colorado, and California. When you decide to work with Kova, you benefit from doing business with a company that's been around for a lot longer than legal cannabis. Right now, Cova's point-of-sale system is in use in more than 19,000 retail locations throughout Canada, California, Washington, and Colorado, and they've tailored their cannabis version to be fully protective of their clients' state law compliance. Cova's savvy team of developers, for instance, have built in automatic protections against any user error that might knock you out of compliance. They're also super smart about the real-world situations some shops find themselves in, which is why their point-of-sale system can be deployed in shops across tablets, even if you don't have access to Wi-Fi. Learn more about what the Cova point-of-sale system can do for your business by opening up covasoftware.com/demo and scheduling a demonstration for yourself. That's covasoftware.com/demo with Cova spelled COVA. And please don't forget to tell them that you heard about them here on Marijuana Today Daily. All right, time for the Blitz. Marijuana Business Daily has a good chart up showing the quick 2-year growth in the Canadian legal marijuana export market. While still relatively small at just over 520 kilograms in 2017, it was nonetheless a huge jump over 2016's 44 kilograms and the 0 kilograms exported in 2015. This is a frequent storyline on the daily as Canadian businesses are quickly taking advantage of the absence of American competitors in the international sphere. A good one to read no matter which side of the border you're on. Speaking of Canadian marijuana companies, Bloomberg News has a good piece up detailing the expansion plans of Golden Leaf Holdings, a company based in Canada that has made moves to grow into American markets. Golden Leaf Holdings currently has operations in Oregon under the name Chalice Farms and just announced plans to franchise their dispensary model across the U.S. The company will sell franchise operations for a one-time fee of $50,000 along with a 5% sales royalty. Not a bad company to keep on your radar. New Cannabis Ventures has a guest piece up by Cannabis Media Chief Data Officer Ed Keating that pulls apart some of the numbers behind California's licensed dispensaries. It does a good job of detailing how the California licensed market is playing out so far and is part of a larger series that does the same for other Golden State market verticals. The wholesale price of legal marijuana in Alaska continues to fall alongside other states, though the dip in price has not been as severe as within the continental U.S. According to Bart Shaman's reporting over at Marijuana Business Daily, the average wholesale price for Alaskan marijuana ranges in the $2,800 to $5,000 range, whereas last year it was closer to $6,000. Alaska taxes cannabis at the cultivation level at the rate of $800 per pound, which has contributed to the ultimately high prices paid by consumers, who are shelling out up to $400 per ounce retail. Iowa will be issuing medical marijuana dispensary licenses for 3 businesses who must open up their low THC dispensaries by December 1st. The state recently gave the nod to MedPharma Iowa to start growing cannabis, and the company was one of the 3 winning dispensary licenses as well. When open, Iowa patients will be able to buy non-smokable medical marijuana products with no more than 3% THC. The city of Ann Arbor, Michigan has received 25 applications for medical marijuana dispensaries as their state works to transition to a new and expanded medical marijuana system that has found some friction recently in how it deals with the dispensaries that have been operating in the gray market for a number of years. In full disclosure on this one, our sponsor, the Ohm of Medicine, is one of those hopeful applicants. I think this is an interesting storyline because of that imperfect transition. It's not one that will be duplicated exactly everywhere, but certainly has useful lessons in process. And finally for today, the AP is reporting that cannabis penny stock company American Green, which announced grand plans last year to turn a California desert ghost town into a thriving cannabis-centric destination resort, is now abandoning the whole thing and selling their land in Nipton to an oil company, which intends to explore the area for fossil fuel extractions. Who could have possibly seen that coming? Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Kova, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.